Right, guys, welcome back to another episode of What the Data Says. How is everyone?
Hey.
Good?
Very good.
So I want to start off because there has been something going absolutely viral on the internet at the moment. The Sydney Sweeney American Eagle jeans ad. We have to discuss it. What is everyone's thoughts?
Give it to us. Give us some context.
Yeah,
What's
okay, so the
happened?
context is the actor Sydney Sweeney, 27-year-old, has copped so much criticism for appearing on the ad, with a lot of people saying that it is tone deaf and kind of saying that it's like fascist propaganda. A lot of people have had like very controversial opinions about it. Some people love it and some people hate it. So I think the whole thing that people don't like is the play on words with like Sydney Sweeney has great genes, as in like Genes rather than like jeans. People are really not liking it, but it's very like, yeah, like people either love it or hate it. So I want to ask what your thoughts are on it, guys. Do you think it is tone deaf, or do you think as a society on social media we're becoming too sensitive to good marketing?
I'll read you something that I wholeheartedly agree with, and I think this is the way that we need to look at it from a marketing perspective because it's very interesting. But Mark Ritson, who is a renowned marketing expert worldwide, globally, has worked as brand managers for LVMH and consultants for over 15 years. We're talking about one of the godfathers of branded marketing. This is exactly what he wrote on LinkedIn. American Eagle has produced a fascinating Rorschach test in the form of its new advertising. It is a very average bit of copywriting, decent art direction, and a bit of a coup getting one of the hottest celebrities of 2025 to endorse your clothing. But we live in an uncomfortable, ridiculous time. First, the campaign was criticised because of the support for domestic violence charities, too sexual apparently. And today you're inevitably going to read a series of hot, sanctimonious takes on its play on jeans/jeans and the nonsensically bizarre insinuation that the brand is promoting eugenics. Have we lost our collective minds? It's an average ad for a fading brand featuring a hot celebrity. Others may choose to see all kinds of insidious extra motives. Theirs is an authentic interpretation, like everyone else's, but this is the reader's perception and not the author's intent. Surely sanity prevails. Whatever the furor to follow, it's going to be a successful ad for the brand. There is such thing as bad publicity for a brand. Ask Elon, but this is not. Nothing in this ad runs against American Eagle's brand positioning. The crisis about to emerge is coming from external narratives, not internal errors. And the relatively minor status of the American Eagle brand for most current fashion buyers means that whatever the company loses in sales from a few super radical trendies, it will surely win 100-fold back from consumers who don't care, don't see any nonsense, but who suddenly are aware and readily salient for a brand that they never thought of before.
Yeah.
I agree that like the Twitter outrage or outrage in general doesn't actually equal the customer behaviour.
Yeah, I mean,
from the numbers that I just read out on.
Look, that customer behaviour is more around not about whether they consume or not. It's more about would they purchase again, yeah. Right? Or purchase
in general.
And I think that the key thing here is that what's most important with your brand and marketing is that you position against certain things in the market, and as long as those things align with your brand positioning, then you're in a pretty good position. And there's another thing that I think is really important here, which is a marketing principle that Mark teaches, which is a very, very key principle. Anyway, so basically there was an article stating that 70%, yeah, hold on, let me
just... It's the red part there, Adlan can't agree.
Yeah, so there's an article where the title of that article is Adlan can't agree on whether American Eagle's Sydney Sweeney campaign is any good. Mark's comments on this, oh, look, it's almost as if a normal Mark's comments on this, oh, look, it's almost as if normal consumers don't care about the right or the left wing BS from commentators and just think jeans and American Eagle and sometimes try and occasionally buy. Market orientation, the most important concept in marketing. You are not the market. You cannot speak for the market. You don't think like the market. I don't think like the market, and they don't think alike. That's why meetings in HQ and discussions on LinkedIn are dangerous places. Why your gut is a very poor marketing instrument, and why we need market research rather than hot takes. But really what market orientation is when you are targeting a specific audience, you need to put yourself in their shoes and understand and do research into how they think. And it turns out that American Eagle, most 18 to 24-year-olds aren't thinking how, the rest of potentially some of these others that are having these really big opinions and politicizing the take is, I don't think it's necessarily how the younger generation are thinking.
Totally disagree. I think the younger generation are mostly the people that are outraged about it. You got to think about my generation, like Gen Z and like younger. They're all so woke. They're so like in tune with everything being like politically correct and stuff. I think the younger people, the more people that are coming out.
Yeah, but I would say no, because it's been a successful campaign. We sometimes get caught in our own biases when the market, they've probably done their market research. They've probably positioned their brand. And you're right. There are, it's not to say that all 18 to 24-year-olds are people that aren't going to be outraged, right? But American Eagle probably did their research and understood that most people are just not going to care.
Yeah.
And now everybody actually, they're a relevant brand right now. There's a key lesson out of this that I think is really important, is that when you're marketing, you actually need to stand for something and not for everything. And more importantly, you should really target an audience, understand who they are, understand the things they believe in, and your marketing should be directly targeted to them. But a big part of that is not thinking from your own shoes, but actually thinking from putting yourself in their shoes. And so, I think from a marketing perspective, it was a pretty successful campaign. And when the politicization of it comes from the external sources, and I think that's as much as there is this kind of big controversy around it, that's created externally. And I think it's actually a minority, not a majority of people that actually think about it in that way.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, it's from a marketing perspective, it's a really interesting case study.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Liv, because obviously like we're more the target audience than Kyle, but like the only thing I picked up on, I thought it was a little bit weird, was like the whispering and like the way she spoke. But as you were saying, it was very Cassie from Euphoria.
Yeah.
And I feel like people forget that she's an actor, and like she's totally not this like sex symbol that people like paint her out to be. Like that's her as an actor. And like she's completely different when she's like off camera. But that's the only thing I found weird about it, that was like very sexual for a jeans campaign.
But that's her. That's
like that's her. Like take it or leave it.
That's her image,
that is
right?
literally how she's famous.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Which I think they do that, bringing her into it.
100%.
They chose the right character for the role.
She is the it girl right now. Like she
100%.
is the it girl. And for them, it's like, you're not going to bring Sydney Sweeney and pay her to be this goody two shoes.
No.
Like that's just not going to get the cut through that you're looking
Yeah.
for.
It'll be interesting to see how they use this spotlight now, like what they do with it now, because I feel like their eyes are on them.
Yeah,
I wonder if they'll like leverage it.
This is kind of Mark's point as well. They are a dying brand.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's going to change the trajectory of them. I think it's going to give them a spark.
Yeah.
It gives them a relevance, but inevitably there is a time limit on how, in terms of what that does for them from a marketing and brand perspective. And it, as much as I think he's right. Like it's not, the campaign is not like this marvelous campaign. It literally is kind of finding that it girl. There's some kind of like corny copywriting around it. But I mean, I think the fact that it's been politicized probably works in their favor a little bit, to be honest. And it is a minority. That's the other thing. Like until all this stuff started happening, which is sparked from a minority, like most people I don't think went into that and were like, oh my God, like how are they doing this? Like you just see an ad, you brush it off a little bit, and that's probably how majority of people think, as the data's kind of saying. But what happens is when these kind of these kind of things can get politicized, and most things when they have high attention will be turned into something controversial or be politicized in that way.
Well,
so
it's actually a copy of, I don't know if you guys knew, they like replicated it was like an 80s Calvin Klein ad with Brooke Shields, and pretty much the tagline was "Nothing gets between me and my Calvins," in between me and my Calvins, and everyone kind of like criticized it for being over sexualized and stuff. But anyway, on that topic, I want to move on kind of like on the back of that to talk about any campaigns or like ads that you guys like come to mind that have been controversial for either being like us being too sensitive and society just being like way too woke, or companies being tone deaf. So I'll start. I don't know if you guys have seen the Bumble ad, but pretty much I'll show you. They had like all these billboards around America and stuff, and one of them says, "You know full well a vow of celibacy is not the answer." And then the other one was just so ridiculous. "Thou shalt not give up dating and become a nun." Anyway, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's tongue-in-cheek, good marketing, or do you think it is tone deaf?
I think tone deaf for those. It's a personal choice, and I think like religion comes into it.
Yep.
Wait, hang on. You think that's tone deaf?
I think a bit, yeah.
So you think that's like stepping over the line?
Yeah.
I love it.
For both
Because
of them.
I think what we were talking about before, the target audience.
Yeah, like
Do you have religious people going on dating apps like Bumble? Like that would be the
true,
question.
that's a good
Like,
point.
No, it's amazing marketing. Like for the people who are like, if you're going on a dating app, yeah, you might be trying to find your love, but I reckon 80% of people are going on there for something else.
shag, yeah.
Yeah. And so like, it's just a brilliant marketing. Like, yeah, the 20% of people who see that or 30% will probably look at it and be like, oh, that's crazy. But like,
Yeah, it's definitely like right on the line.
I don't even think it's right on the line.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Yeah.
Do you reckon
made,
they're
like-
basically telling people that their personal choices are wrong though?
No, it's an opinion. People are allowed to have
Yeah.
opinions. And there is apps out there for religious people. That's the
Really?
reality. So like these things like are going to happen in life, and there is marketing out there, and like, yeah, there will be people that will be upset by it, but inevitably that's what it is. It's like the whole point is if you create marketing for everybody, it doesn't stand out. You need to create marketing for your specific client, target demographic, target audience. And just if you're thinking about and if you go the opposite way and you think about there's a dating app out there that is religious focused, they're gonna the way that they will be really successful is positioning against the exact ad that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And then 80% of people of their target audience that see that will sit there and say totally agree, and all of a sudden it cuts through to them. So that's just marketing 101. I don't think personally it steps over the line. There's definitely going to be some people upset about it, but that's life.
Yeah. And then, so the next one was for a cyclist company. And just by the way, just to preface, it's called Fat Lad at the Back, which is
Is that the company name?
that's the company's name.
Okay.
And so pretty much it's targeted, anyway, I'll read it out. So it says fat cunt, actually fat can, top quality cycle wear for everybody. And it got taken down. It got asked to be removed because they had rock posters all over the city. And obviously a lot of people complained and got it removed, which I think is a bit much. But what do you guys think? Is it over the line, or is it?
It's just looking at the photo, it's pulling in my bloody attention, that's for sure. The word C-U-N-T, I'm like, ooh, you don't see that very often. Read it
Yeah, it's
out.
definitely attention grabbing.
I'm like, shit. I love the word. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, look, I think the big thing with a lot of these is that my
pretty
personal
vulgar.
opinion is I respect everybody's beliefs, right? What I think though is that there is freedom of speech and there is freedom of the ability to have opinions, and that's a really, really good thing, right? Because you don't want to highlight some opinions and not others. And I think the second that you go down that path, you're going down a very, very slippery slope. So a lot of my opinions are around, hey, have your beliefs and I'll completely respect those. And stepping over the line is when you're insinuating things like violence, and there's things that could potentially hurt people. Now, when we're talking about words and these kind of things, I think everybody's warranted to have an opinion, and that's my view on marketing too. So I think it's really about my kind of view is something like this is I'm okay with it.
So you like it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I like it. I don't know if that's the path I would take personally, but I'm okay with it being out there. And it probably does get cut through. Like it definitely gets attention. And it's going to divide people in terms of opinions. There's going to be people that have all sorts of opinions, and those opinions are warranted. But from a marketing perspective, I think that'll get your attention.
Yeah. And my last one, I won't show it because it's like a YouTube video, but I'll play it like in the video. But it's by a company called Pot Noodles. And since they've had a lot of backlash, they've actually removed it and completely changed it for any future TVCs. But it's about a cup noodle, like company, they sell cup noodles. And the ad pretty much has like a chick in like an office, and she goes, heats up her cup noodles, and she like starts to slurp on it, and she pretty much has it all in one mouthful. And the slurping sounds of like her having the noodles goes on for the entire like 15-second ad. Anyway, so people have complained saying that it has triggered their misophonia, which is a rare condition that causes people to have intense emotional reactions to certain sounds. So people found the sound was like disgusting and they didn't want to listen to it, and like it was inappropriate to have on a TV commercial. So it got taken down, which I'll just first and foremost say, I think we're being too sensitive. It was such a good ad.
Yeah.
Fuck, I hate a slurping sound, so I'm on team.
Oh, really? When I
listening
watched
to
it,
it.
I was like, I just want a cup of noodles now.
Was it an engaging sound? Can we just play it in the
I'll
background?
play it, yeah.
Because my
guys say
pet
your
peeve with
opinion.
people
No. So when you play it, you need to actually introduce the video, let people watch it, and then comment on it.
No, I will. I'll just play it for you guys.
I just want to hear it for us internally.
Yeah, I think is really interesting. So I don't have a general ad, but I reckon looking at the way ads mold around society is really interesting. Like we went through a stage just around COVID, but a little bit pre and post, where the world went into I think the world was in a really anxious place, and because of that, a lot of people started to become sensitive in terms of how they wanted people to react to their ads. And so a lot of the ads actually went down this kind of woke path. Like we did a podcast on Nike and the kind of, the demise of Nike that they're having to rebuild back up of, but that they kind of went down that path, right? And they went so far down that path that people lost respect for them, because what happens is when you start to chase views and chase attention and move away from your brand's positioning, like Nike went from champions mindset, Michael Jordan, ruthless, like he'll tear your head off, right? That's his brand, to positioning around that, to then going down this completely other path. And people are aware of that, right? And they went down that path because they kind of went away from their brand positioning and just aligned with what society was saying is the current norm. And the problem is that whenever you kind of go down that path, you end up kind of blowing and going whichever way the wind goes, and people lose respect for you. So I think it's interesting. We're now in this world where that's in the distant past, think about it, the Sydney Sweeney ad, where like it's completely the opposite, in your face, sexy is back, and I feel like that's something that I've noticed is like sexy is back. Like it is so back in a very large way. Yeah. And that is just, there was actually this really great thing with American Eagle where they said American Eagle in 2020 and American Eagle in 2025, where the 2020 campaign was actually with people that were overweight, so they were the front cover. Now it's Sydney Sweeney. Yeah. And so it's funny, like, and this is the thing with like, if your brand is becoming irrelevant, you end up having to find these extreme ways to become relevant again. And so, it's really interesting to see how brands kind of mold themselves around how society's thinking and society's psychology in the very moment to stay relevant. I think that's something that, and more importantly, just not swaying too far away from what you actually stand for. And in those moments when it feels easy to go relevant, bringing it back to your brand's positioning.
I have a note that I just wrote down, which is like kind of tying it all in. But like my belief is that most advertising is shit because most marketers have forgotten that marketing is about understanding customers and not expressing their own personal beliefs. Is kind of how I view it, the whole thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Love that. Going to change the topic a little bit because like in my research process for what we were going to talk about, I was like, what is all over my feed at the moment and like everyone's feed? And the one thing that came to mind, maybe I was hungry when I was doing my research, was everything like pistachio, Dubai chocolate. Like me and Liv talk about it regularly. We'll send each other the latest thing that we've seen in the cafe that's doing pistachio chocolate, hot chocolate or whatever. Anyway, and I was like, I don't even know where that came from. Like, do you guys know where Dubai chocolate and this whole pistachio thing came from?
No idea, but it's fucking blown up.
Yeah, like I was like, why don't I know this? Anyway, so I did some research. So the person who actually founded Dubai chocolate, it's not an old thing, it's actually really new. It was founded in 2021 by an English lady living in Dubai called Sarah Hamouda. She worked in like a full-time corporate job and she had a pregnancy craving and she was like, I really want an indulgent chocolate, like something that's like so crazy and like crunchy and yummy and like even better than any other chocolate she's had. And so her and her husband started like a little startup on the side where they were like making chocolates. Like none of them had culinary backgrounds at all. And they were just making chocolates on the side and like selling them on the side of their jobs. And she worked on this one Dubai chocolate with pistachios for like ages, finally perfected it, came out with it in 2021. Like it did okay. Like it was still a really small company. It was just her and her husband. And then in 2023, this food creator that does like ASMR eating videos, she did a video of her doing an ASMR of the Dubai chocolate. And I don't know if you know, but it's like super crunchy and like, it's like, it just looks insane when people eat it. And it got 80 million views and like 10 million likes. And like some of the top ones, all the top comments that have like thousands and thousands of likes are all just like, this girl literally started Dubai chocolate craze. Anyway, since then, there's been like a worldwide global shortage of pistachios. And like, as you can probably know, like just even walking around Melbourne, every single store that is like a hot chocolate or patisserie or like a chocolate place, everywhere has pistachio chocolate in the windows, pistachio hot chocolate. It's like everything is like pistachio flavored right now. Even the other day we tried those disgusting protein bars that are pistachio. Anyway, it's just gone crazy. And like now her company Fix is like, she's worth over $20 million, like, and which I don't know is that much. Is that much? She has a net worth of $20 million. It's not that much. Maybe we'll cut that out. Anyway.
More than me.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so it went from like a 2-person passion project to like the account has like 500K on TikTok. Sorry, it has 400K on TikTok. They sell out daily and they've even done collaborations with the Prince of Dubai, which I think is so crazy. Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to talk about any other instances on like how, I don't know, I just want to open up a conversation on how like it's crazy how one video can go so viral and like have such a domino, like such an immense domino effect on like the consumer world and like everything that we're consuming. Like I just think it's crazy. So what do you guys think?
Okay, question. Do you think it's the fact that it's pistachio or do you think it's the ASMR review that makes it like that? Or, you know, is it say the fact that it's now the pistachio gold chocolate? Like
the ASMR is the reason, like I reckon that's the byproduct of this whole thing. Because look at baklava with the pistachio in it that's been around for bloody years and years.
Yeah,
it hasn't got the same attention, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And I just picture, what I picture in this instance is a little pistachio, little farmer on his land being hoovered up by a 30-second TikTok video, and now he's selling out of all of his little pistachios. He's sitting on his life work on
They're
that farm.
pretty expensive as well, pistachios.
Yeah,
sure?
I would assume. I don't know, actually.
Yeah,
but he's sitting on his farm thinking, my whole life's work has now been hoovered up by a 30-second video.
That's so true. But like, I feel like I read a few articles and like, I guess like, yeah, a lot of people have been asking the same question. Like, what do you think is like the contributing factor to going like, to this going so crazy? I think it's a combination of 3 things. I think A, she has made an exceptional product and she's very passionate about it. And I think like genuinely, if you look at the product, it's exceptional. It is like probably one of the most incredible looking chocolate bars you've seen.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I think like having an amazing product, but I do think it's like you can have an amazing product and like never have the attention on it. And it's like those things that are just super like, oh, like no one knows about this place. Like same with restaurants, but as soon as someone does like a super cool review and it goes viral, everyone goes to the restaurant. So I think it's like, yeah, also about attention. But also pistachios kind of slap. Like, I don't know.
I like the idea of building marketing into your product. So, you know, having something that is, you know, or like having marketing built into your product so that it is positioned very unique or different. You know, I think, I don't know, there's something about that for me, having something that it's either really aesthetic or positions it as really unique can kind of get you the attention that you're looking for. You know, so the pistachio gold chocolate, as per se, like you know, it's one of those things that you might not eat repeatedly, but like everybody wants to try it once.
Yeah.
Because it's so unique and different. And you know, it's even like driving a Tesla. Like it seems normal now, but like back in the day, you didn't like, you know, Elon's spent $0 on marketing to this day with Tesla.
Yeah.
Because it's so unique and different that you don't need to market it. People market it for you, you know? So like first electric car, it's all over the news. There's always people writing about it. It's kind of like that sushi thing that we talked about where he sells sushi in the train station.
Yeah.
It's always packed out. It's like this idea that he doesn't need to do any marketing because people do the marketing for him. So I think you're right in having a really good product, but what is a good product? I think a really great product is something that's unique and different. It doesn't necessarily have to have the best function. I think it has to function to an optimal level, but if it's unique and different, then, you know, and positions to a unique audience, you know, it can often get that trigger itself. So it's a really interesting debate. I do think obviously there's attention and marketing to it too. Like the ASMR, is it ASMFR? ASMR is kind of like, you know,
that was so big and trending back then as well. When this video would have come out,
it's like literally so cooked. It looks so good.
It's incredible.
Insane.
I also think it's
Like,
important to note that
insane.
like you're seeing it a lot now with like the old school companies. We're getting all these millennials and Gen Z coming in and kind of cutting through them and creating like cool products off the back of them. Like even if you think about like, I don't know, I saw a product the other day on TikTok. It's like shaving your legs with the, what's it called?
Micro.
Now they're doing foam.
Dermaplaner?
No, just a regular shaving like foam on your legs. Guys would use it, females would use it. Now they're doing like a pink foam that's like full thick that comes out of the bottle. And
I
like,
love that.
I feel like it's just differentiating, going into a category and just like disrupting it is like the new thing.
Yeah.
And you can see with this chocolate, combining chocolate with a thick block with pistachio is just cutting through the market.
Yeah. It's going into a market that hasn't. So one of the oldest playbooks with business that you can go and look at over hundreds of years is going into a market that hasn't had any disruption or innovation, and then just kind of creating a product that functions the same but is just very unique and different through product placement or packaging or different things. Like there's another product at the moment. I'm not going to go down. I can't even remember the product. It's like this chick thing. What do chicks usually use? Is it lipstick or something?
Lip gloss?
Lip gloss. So there's a product at the moment, and I've seen it where there's a lip gloss and it's instead of it just being a little tube, it's a ringlet. So you can put it on your keys and different things. And so it's functions the same as lip gloss, but it's packaged a lot different and it's viral. Like it's in Coles and different shops like that doing really well. And it's another example of just the packaging being completely different.
I'd love to know like how much money and how many companies have started because of that though. Like I'm just thinking about like, I don't know if pistachio poppy is more like Australia based, but like even that, like would people even like care about pistachio poppy unless everyone wasn't obsessed with it from this video? Like that's what I want to know. Like,
well, no, I think that this has caused cultural relevance for pistachio now. That one video is the byproduct of all these other brands now starting.
But that's
which is what happens.
Everything though.
Yeah.
Like you honestly, like if you can build a business at the start of a trend, like it can completely change the trajectory of your life and more importantly be so much easier to build that business. Like cultural trends is honestly the best way to start a business and seeing that opportunity early. You know, you can't be late. You can't even be in the middle. If you can get into it early or even, you know, like think about it. That chocolate, that lady was obviously the first company, but like if you were the second or the third, you're still absolutely crushing it. So, you know, I think that's like a tried and tested playbook.
Yeah. And another example, and then I want to hear if you guys have any examples of something that's gone viral from like one video. But I was looking up before, do you guys know how you know that viral Stanley Cup that everyone has, like a lot of chicks have it? Do you guys know how that's like become so famous?
No.
So I didn't realize that, and thinking back now, I've had like thermoses that are Stanley, but like that was when Stanley was so not cool. It was like this ugly thermos that I used to take to school. Yes, but they've been around for 110 years. And like up until 2017, I think, they were like super manly, like
daggy
like
campers
outside,
and shit.
Yeah, like super daggy. And anyway, then the Stanley Cup was actually going to be completely discontinued. And then these 3 mums in America found it in like a store and they were like, wait, this is the best thing ever because it's got a straw. It's like, it fits in your car, like cup holder, like blah, blah, like all these amazing things about it. And then they posted it on this account they had, the buy guide. It went completely viral. And then they reached out because they knew it was going to be discontinued. So many people then went to purchase it. And then Stanley actually hired the 3 women to be a part of their marketing department to rebrand away from being like this campy kind of thing to being more like a lifestyle product. And you can totally see in the difference in the Instagram page from like then to now. It's like, I feel like they realized that they were missing out on a massive portion of their target audience, which is women.
It's just, no, but like, yes, but it's like, I don't think they realized they were missing out. I think they realized that there's an opportunity in a cultural trend, right? So like, if those ladies never did that, it's not to say that if they changed their marketing that it would work, right? It's more that I think what you've got to be really good at as a company is understanding those cultural trends and kind of leaning into them and getting in early, so because like the other thing is like, okay, imagine that happened with the Stanley Cup. The ladies did that and then Stanley didn't kind of jump on that and somebody else came in and created basically a replica but positioned it in a different way. They then get, like think about it. You go create a product, you send it to those 3 ladies and you say, we'll give you 5% of the equity if you push this, or even 1% of the equity if you come on board and market this, or even just pay them from a campaign perspective. All of a sudden you jump on that cultural trend. That is the game. That's kind of where the game's won or lost. If you can spot these trends ahead of time or pick up on them quick, that's where the opportunity is.
Yeah. And
I think their reaction to the car video was like so smart as well. Did you see the car that fully burned to a crisp? And then
Stanley account did it?
Sorry?
Did Stanley do a reaction to it?
Yeah, well, so what happened is the car burnt up to a crisp and the only thing that survived was the Stanley Cup that came out of it. People are speculating that potentially it was Stanley that actually created that from the infancy of it, and the car's value was $30,000. So like their whole replacement fee was $30,000. They generated over 30 million views in a few days and their sales skyrocketed. I think it was 10 million plus just from that one free piece of marketing. But I found it so interesting. Their response to it was like, we'll replace your car because Stanley survives or something. I can't remember the exact wording that they used, but I was like, that's so smart.
Oh God,
they've
so
essentially paid for this and they've commented on it and they've interacted with it. So
much of views and organic social media marketing is how quickly can you be on cultural trends? Like it is so much like that. It's like the quickest in that sphere is like the most successful because you can just architect views and then you build the base of your account up and then all of a sudden your average views just increases on the back of collecting so many followers and audience, people, audience from those kind of cultural trends. So it's speed to market, I think, always kind of trumps whether that be marketing or product.
Yeah. Does anyone have any other things that come to mind?
I just have the visual element of foods these days, like especially in that kind of product like range. Like either you look at Crumble, the visual box, the opening of the box, you look at those desserts now that are now turned fruits into dessert. I think there's like a huge opportunity for like when you're building products now, it's like how is it visually going to stand the test of time? So people are actually wanting to come on and capture it because they'll do the work for you. So I feel like that should be like a huge thought factor when building a product now in today's economy.
It's important to understand what a product is as well. So product is more than just the function of the product. It's the packaging, it's the placement. Yeah. It's encapsulates a lot more than just the physical product. And you're right. When it comes to food, especially things like cookies and these kind of things, visuals is very, very important. Like, you know, and you should be thinking about these kind of things with your product. Like, you know, even us, we put a lot of effort into how our studios look and different things like that. That plays a big part in not, you know, it's like the mic works, the camera works, but there's so much more that goes into a product. So I think, you know, there's really good lessons in this as well. And that's what I was saying, building marketing into your product. Like, how does it stand out? How do you get people's attention with your actual product? Should be thought about a lot more. You know, and a lot of the best products do that. Like, you know, we host Bobbies in here, you know, the packaging and the colors and the positioning of that product. People love soft drink. I think that's tried and tested, but they wanted a healthy alternative. And so it's just a unique positioning of a product. There's so many good examples of it.
Couldn't agree more.
Sweet. Well, we might wrap it up there, guys. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next month.
See you next month.
Bye.